Grombiz is the brainchild of a young skater surfer with a dream. His dream was to bring to life and share with others his innovation ideas that would expand their skateboarding experience in ways like never before.
I bought my first skateboard while I was living in Weipa in tropical far north of Australia. And Weipa didn't have any skate parks, so I used to learn to ride my board in the car park at high school. Every afternoon I'd be out there just trying to learn the conventional tricks, ollies, kickflips, and like every kid dreamt of being able to grind. None of my mates skated, so I was always there by myself every afternoon just trying to do my tricks and stuff. And I think I just got frustrated and got a bit bored with the whole thing, so I just started using my board as transport, and that's where I really started to really enjoy just cruising on my board. As I was skating more and more and more, I wanted to push my board further and further. You know, I wanted to carve harder, I wanted to skate faster. So I was constantly changing my setup, trying to get more out of my board, trying to get to perform better, and even then I found it limiting at times. So this was definitely a major influence and motivation for me to start looking at a fresh new truck design.
Achieving his dream was going to be a challenge. It was all about a totally fresh new look at skating equipment and the truck. Ben's dream needed some structure, so for inspiration he taped into chat forums, contacted downhill teams and slalom skaters who knew what was going on in the skate world outside of Australia.
I think it was back in 2001, I was doing some research on the internet, and I found there was a very huge group of sophisticated and focused skaters doing a lot of experimentation with longboard trucks. And I was able to really identify with them quite quickly because the problems that they were experiencing were the same things I was having in Weipa. And I think I saw a bit of a common thread there, and I thought there's got to be an answer for this.
This is the birth of the Grom Biz truck.
I remember I spent many months just sketching all my ideas and concepts down on a piece of paper and just trying to get all the features I wanted in one design. It took about 6 months, but slowly things came together, and I came up with a truck design that I was happy with. So I was straight to Dad, and we took on the challenge of building the first working prototype. I remember when we got the truck done, it wouldn't have looked like a skate truck to anyone but me, but it proved the concept and allowed me to test the design and move on to the next stage.
After relocating to the Gold Coast, Ben's creative side turned to the surf influence. Not only the culture, but the fluid styles of surfing. Looking again at the current design, he introduced new features that allowed extreme carving riding styles that could simulate surfing. This led Grombiz to take on a more carving focus and brought to life the Grombiz C11 Scriber.
Take a shower and shine your shoes. You got no time to lose. If you are young, then you must be living. Take a shower and shine your shoes.
When I arrived on the Gold Coast, I immediately immersed myself in the surfing culture. I bought a board and I started learning to surf straight away. Surfing had such a big influence on my life, I immediately went back to my designs and added a whole heap of new features that allowed me to reproduce the feeling of surfing on the road. And I remember I was just so stoked when I had it all on paper that I couldn't wait to get a polished prototype.
Ben was now 18 and graduated from high school. He decided that university wasn't going to offer the future he saw for himself. He then created his company called Grombiz, which stood for Grommets in Business for Grommets. Grombiz always saw Australia as a very scattered population that made introducing a complicated new product like the Grombiz C11 Scriber a big challenge. But nonetheless, it was a great testing ground before going overseas. Ben had been promoting and selling the C11 Scriber in Australia for about 2 years when he decided it was time to go international. Grombiz International was born, and within its first year opened up a branch in the USA.
C11 Scriber is a great product, rich in features and performance. The only problem was marketing such a complex product to the Australian market, which is so spread out. The longboarding industry was virtually non-existent at the time in Australia, but the surfing industry really latched onto the product, and it was to do with some of the new features that I brought in as a part of my influence from the surfing culture.
Grombiz now underwent a major shift and wanted to get back to its roots, back to the birth of their truck, back to the people and styles that influenced its design. With longboarding, slalom and street carving in mind, Grombiz has now launched the Grombiz C2 board. Grombiz also plans to give the C11 Scriber a facelift with some new features while concentrating on developing the truck for the more creative longboard skaters like himself.
Come and